Hey, good morning. It's 6 a.m. and I got up this morning to go for a walk. And I'm just exhausted. I don't know, I don't feel energized at all. I kind of wanted to go back to bed, but I thought, get up, do what you say you're going to do, be disciplined. And so I came out to go for a walk, and I started walking in the direction of the cemetery here in Zagreb. There are lots of little cemeteries, but there's this big main one, and I've never been here. I've been here for 3 months, and I've never been to this cemetery, and it is so unbelievably beautiful. Take a look at this place. So when you walk in, you come in through these gates right here, and if you look up high, there are all these beautiful structures that are covered with vine, and then you have the main structure, and it's just really so lovely and peaceful. And there are two ways to go. You can go left, or you can go right. And I felt drawn to go to the right, and I think partially because there's this lovely long passageway. And yeah, I got inspired to make a video here this morning, just because I'm really tired and I don't feel like walking. I mean, I don't feel like power walking. I don't mind doing this lovely, easy walk through the cemetery. Isn't this just a gorgeous place? Man, if you're going to be buried someplace, if your body's going to be laid to rest, don't you want to be laid to rest in a beautiful, peaceful, I don't know, a place like this? For me, the answer is a resounding yes. Yes. So I thought, all right, I'm going to not sure. It's kind of interesting to walk by this. There are these names on the walls, these placards. And the ceilings are really lovely, wow. And it's wonderful to have the sun coming in like this. So, the thing is, okay, so I'm gonna do, while I'm kind of walking through this cemetery, I want to do look at how the light is shining on these vines. This is really what a glorious morning. When I rented my apartment here in Zagreb, there's a beautiful view, and the view is of this cemetery. At the top of the hill is this cemetery, and I don't know, I guess I was just waiting until inspiration called me. I love cemeteries. I normally will visit, at least one cemetery in every city that I'm visiting. Look at the floors.
Time 23 minutes 33 seconds.
Yes.
Distance 1 mile.
So-
Pace 23
okay,
minutes
sorry.
32 seconds per mile.
That's
Split
just
pace
ridiculous.
23 minutes 32 seconds per mile.
Yeah, okay, so I forgot to turn off map my run or map my walk while I was pausing for my video. At this pace, it's going to take me an hour to walk another mile, so I guess I don't have to worry about the recording coming on. Anyway, so I woke up exhausted this morning, and I I was walking up the hill anyway. I got up to do my walk anyway, and I thought, well, I have something on my mind. And what happened was, I walked past a dog who was just hanging out behind his fence, and he just looked so sweet with his paws and his little nose kind of stuck beneath the fence, and it just made my heart open. I just felt really open and loving toward this animal. And I have to say that the last couple of days I've had lots of dog and little boy energy around me. Wow, look at her. Petar Preradovic. That's really a beautiful sculpture. Man. So, over the last several days, I've had lots of little boy energy, lots of little boys interacting with me, talking, laughing, playing, engaging, and lots of dogs laughing. Oh my God, holy macaroni. This is just beautiful. This Jesus mosaic with the pink. Oh my God, that is just magnificent. Holy moly. And look at all the detail. Man, this is a glorious way to wake up on a Monday morning. To wake up really tired and think, I'm not going for a walk, I'm going to go back to bed. And then to find myself here at this time of day is just a real blessing. Wow. So, lots of little boy energy, lots of dog energy. And this morning I got up and I had this dog, that was just hanging out watching me as I was walking by. Oh, man, this place is so beautiful. It makes me want to cry. This place is so beautiful, my God. And right out over here, and look, it's so quiet and peaceful, but right out over here are more burial sites. Wow, what a truly welcoming place this is. So this morning as I was walking and I saw the dog, there was this moment where I felt this tremendous sense of longing. And I just thought, oh, my heart is aching for the tenderness of dogs and children and partnership. And I got the impulse. I love these candles, by the way, that people light, and they burn they burn a really long time. This is just so precious. I hope they have a tour. I'm coming back here for a tour. I don't know, I'm sure they do. They must have a cemetery tour, because to talk about who the people are and the history of this incredible place, I will do that for sure. Okay, so maybe it's not going to be so exciting down here. Sorry, I'm trying to tell you a story and I'm not doing a good job. But the point is that I felt this tremendous longing, and really, it was a beauty, There was a sadness, and there was a beauty to the sadness, though. There was a lot of love and joy. This is incredible. I'm sorry, but this is amazing. amazing. And the thing is, I feel whatever energy is here so strongly right now. I'm really lit up inside. My stuff is like, my energy is rising so high. I feel really, really wild here. It's just wonderful. It's so good, man. So I wondered, like, what was going on with me with this feeling of longing. And I asked my tarot cards about it. And the thing that I asked, I said, I feel ready for this loving partnership. You know, this deeply loving, intimate, one-on-one relationship. And the question was, it's a loaded question, yeah? Because just the very act of asking such a question is a moment of resistance. But there is a need for this resistance because, you know, this is the truth of where you are energetically. And yet, the other vibration of where you are energetically is connected to God, connected to yourself, connected to Mother Earth. So there are these two things that are existing at the same time. And it's that kind of duality of existence that I was experiencing. I was experiencing being without. The feeling that I had in my heart was very much about being alone and longing for the dog, longing for the sun, you know, in the form of the little boys that kept coming to me, you know, playfully, but also looking for, looking for companionship. And I felt this weekend like my inner child was just really thriving. I felt like I was alive and vibrant, healthy, young, playful, adventurous. Last night, or yesterday, I went with a friend to with her family. She's a high schooler, yeah, and we did this play together. And so she's like, I want you to meet my mom and dad. You know, come meet my family. And so I met her mom and dad and her little brother. And they were all really lovely people. They are of Romanian descent. They are Romanian, actually. And they are living here in Zagreb. And the little boy was 5.5 years old, and he would say, he's not, you know, he's really, really intelligent. I don't think I've ever met such an articulate child. And my friend, by the way, is also, I think that she is, I actually think that she is a genius, you know, one of these quiet, eccentric genius types who has so much going on in her mind that it might be challenging for her to actually, communicate and to be grounded. You know, I think that she just has a very expansive mind, and she takes in a lot of things, and she's very strong in her feelings, strong in her emotions, really beautiful. Anyway, her little brother, this very, very pale skin, blonde hair, like as blonde as you can get, blonde eyebrows, you know, super towhead, right? Wow, now look at this communist. This is totally, I mean, this has to be communist, yeah? Look at that angular work posture, his shoes. The name is Adolfo Faniki Müller. Okay, wow, but this must be a farmer or a worker. I'm saying that it looks communist because of all these angles. There are these bricks in the background. So he must be some kind of a worker. Um, but what a monument to a worker. What does that mean? Because, I mean, you would think that there would be something more simple or something more accessible to the general population if indeed it's about the worker. But this is obviously very expensive and very not proletariat, unless it's representing all of the proletariat. I'm just making up stuff here as I go along. I'm just filling in the blanks for myself. What a lovely area to just sit and contemplate your loved ones. So this little kid, beautiful little boy, is talking to me nonstop, playing and engaging in real life conversation. I mean, the kid is brilliant. He literally, this is one of the things he said. He says, "Hey, Crystalline, I'm courageous. When I run, I might fall and bump my head, but you know what? I always get back up and I run more because I'm courageous." Really beautiful wisdom coming from this kid. And at 5 years old, no less, I'm like, yeah. I had the urge to say, yes, and I feel like I am afraid myself. I get afraid and I don't get back up, and that's scary. So thank you for giving me this beautiful advice to pick myself up, dust myself off, and start all over again. So, with this little boy yesterday, and then I went to another place, and there was another little boy who kept, was working in this cafe, and there was another little boy who came over and was like, hey, like just talking, was talking to me in Croatian, and he was only 3 years old, and he did not understand that I could not understand him because apparently he was forming complete sentences in Croatian. But I didn't understand him because, my Croatian is crap. And so all of this is to say I had this beautiful, innocent, masculine energy around me that was very much about, innocence and loveliness and playfulness and curiosity. It was gorgeous, and of course Spirit is talking to me. Obviously Spirit is talking to me. And this morning I see the dog and I have this kind of feeling of longing for a partner. Life is just so good right now. I'm really enamored with life, and I'm enamored with myself, not in a vain way, not at all. I don't feel vain. I don't see myself as better than anyone. I just see myself as more than my personality and more than the sum of my limitation. I've lived the first half of my life being very much about what I am not, striving to be more than what I am, striving for some kind of success or a meaning of success that had very much to do with had nothing to do with where I was in the world currently. That's just the style, isn't it? That squarish style. Wow. I am so happy here. I'm always happy when I go to cemeteries. I have always really enjoyed them. Père Lachaise in France is really one of my favorite, or has been my favorite, but I don't know. I feel like this is now officially my favorite. Amazing. I don't know. The thing about Père Lachaise is I know lots of the people that are buried in Père Lachaise. I can really relate to the artists that are buried there, the musicians, the poets, the authors, The actors, Jim Morrison is buried in Père Lachaise, and I don't know of a single, politician or authority figure that is buried here in Miragoy. This is the name, I believe, of this cemetery, Miragoy. And so it has a different kind of meaning for me, to not be able to relate to any of the doings or the lives of the people that are buried here. But I definitely feel so strongly connected to, I feel so strongly connected, grumpy crows, so strongly connected just to the feeling in this place. It's a wonderful feeling, and at this time of day, 6 o'clock in the morning, I walked in and the gates were open. I was really apprehensive because I didn't know if the guard would, if the guard was like, "What are you doing here? It's go home, come back at a decent hour." But no, he's like, "Yeah, go on in. The gates are open. Go in." Yes. Okay, so I did lose track. It's not easy to make a video while you are walking and enjoying the feeling of the energy that's here. It's really a good energy cemetery. But I have to say, I have yet to be at a bad energy cemetery. I've never been in a cemetery that had a funky energy. I've met some playful spirits here. Look at that one. I've met some playful spirits in cemeteries, but I've never had a bad vibe. I had I had one set of energies that really wanted me to clean out their I've forgotten what these it's not this what are these things called? These not these trash cans. Not the trash cans. That's called a trash can. But these big like houses. I don't know what they're called. And one couple wanted me to clean out their little house, and so I did, and it was really unkempt. It was uncared for, and not like this one. This one is obviously beautiful and immaculate, and the floor is clean. The flowers are not fresh, but they are not dusty and worn either. So someone's coming in and taking care of this. And so this one couple was like, "Can you take care of this for us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." What a blessing. Yes. So I did it. Really a good experience too. Lots of spiders and dust and stuff. Anyway, so I totally forgot where I left off. I think I was talking about the energy and the innocence of the masculine, playful, innocent energy. I think that too often we are given a really negative view of men, and I think that's really too bad, because in many ways, and look, I'm not okay, in many ways we've demonized men. We've made it really impossible for a man to not be fit into a box of being a cheater or dumb. I'm not sure of why women find the need to say that men are simple and men are this and men are that. As a matter of fact, and this is on top of it all, there was this really beautiful man whose image showed up on Facebook yesterday. A friend, like, it was a suggested friend, like, "Do you know me? Or do you know this person?" And I sent him a friend request. And I often send out friend requests to people. I always send out friend requests to people that have a vibration of beauty. It does not mean physical beauty, not at all. I mean, there's a vibration of there's a vibration of beauty. Um, and this man happened to be very had a wonderful vibration, like a lovely vibration, really heart oriented. And then on top of it all, he was physically, beautiful, very handsome face, and just very appealing. So I sent him a friend request, and most of the time, people will accept my friend request. And wow, this place is big. It goes on. I'm gonna walk down here, and then I'll come back up. Um, so he had a wonderful vibration, and I sent him a friend request. And most people, when they get my friend request, they do not, um, they don't respond any. They just accept the friend request, and we just kind of move on. And with this man, he wrote me, and he's like, hey, thanks for reaching out. And then he kind of started this conversation, and actually he started off the conversation with a question. And the question was like, hey, how do you, how do you feel about me? And I thought, and at first I thought, okay, is he asking me to read him? Because, I'm an intuitive reader. That's what I do. I'm a reader. And I'm a channel. And I said, well, what do you mean? Because and first of all, I thought that would be a weird thing to start off a friendship, or on Facebook. That's just kind of weird, like, give me a reading. But it actually says, no, I just mean, like, how do you feel about me? Like, what's the vibe you get off of me? Not a reading. Like, just, how do I make you feel? And I told him very honestly, I said, well, you have this kind of very appealing thing going on. You're appealing. You're sexy, and you feel good. And it felt really intimate and powerful to tell my truth, to not have to worry about. I used to think, okay, he's gonna think that I'm picking up on him, and do I want to go down this route? And then I thought, number one, if he thinks I'm picking up on him, that's his issue. I don't feel like changing myself out of fear, of what somebody's going to think. I just want to be who I am, and I want to tell the truth. I want to be able to tell a woman that I think she's, amazing, or I want to be able to tell a man that I think he's amazing. I want to be able to tell somebody that I don't like their behavior, or what they're doing is harmful. And I want to be able to tell them without there being any strings attached. Like, if I say that someone is hurting me, or their behavior was hurtful, I don't want them to have to, I don't want to have to milk it for blood. I don't want to have to say, like, to beat up on them and be like, oh, like, you suck, I need you to apologize. No, I just want to be able to say my truth and move on. This is where I am right now. And this guy and I got into a great conversation. I told him my perspective, and then it turns out that we are both followers of Teal Swan, and we both had these same experiences with her in the same year, meaning we were both called up to work with her in an intimate way, like work one-on-one with her, which is really powerful. Anybody who has had that experience will tell you it's life-changing. So with, that was just kind of a really cool exchange. And this just is kind of now, I'd forgotten about that interaction with him. And yeah, just some really interesting interactions with men. And the little boys, And the dogs. I always associate dogs with men and cats with women. Okay, I know there are lots of women who love dogs and lots of men who love cats, which is great. But at the same time, in my psyche, dogs are boys and cats are girls. Okay? Puppy dog tails, boys. Little kitties, girls. So that's interesting over there. Look at how those are all set up. This is an interesting cemetery, and I don't know why those are that way. I'm gonna go see though. There's an opening for the fence over here. Now, I guess there would not be a lot of Jewish. I wonder if this is purely for the Catholic faith. Oh, the soldiers. Okay. But wait, this is Dutch soldiers. Would that be right? Is that what's going on? Are these about German soldiers? I'm so ignorant of history. Y'all have to forgive me for being so ignorant. Let's see. German military cemetery. Wow. Oh, ooh. This war grave site for victims of World War II was established by the Volksbund Deutsche Kriegsgräbervorsorge on behalf of the German federal government. The Volksbund is dependent on donations and member fees, blah, blah, blah. In international youth camps, young people from Europe help with the care of the cemetery and build bridges of understanding. The German-Croatian War Graves Agreement came in effect in December of 1996. It is the legal basis for the protection and maintenance of the German war graves in Croatia. About 2,000 German soldiers were buried in the cemetery area in World War II. As agreed with the municipal authorities, the grave area was restored in 1994-95 with symbolic crosses, and symbolic crosses were erected. Furthermore, the names of all war victims registered for the cemetery of Mirogoj were written down on metal tables. On May 11, 1996, the newly created grave was opened to the public. The dead of this cemetery are a reminder of peace. This is really powerful because I do know that Croatia was occupied, and well, Croatia I don't think was even Croatia, but this area, wait, is that correct? I'm making up history right now. I know that in this area was definitely occupied by the Nazis. I'm very sure of that. And although I have to say that there is not a feel of that here, by the way. Like, I've been in Germany and Austria and felt this kind of weird racism that is made me not want to go to those countries at all. And it hasn't been subtle at all. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Germany or Austria is all about racism. I'm sure that they are not. I'm sure that they've grown and healed a lot. But I do have to say that my experience, I've been to Germany and I've been to Austria once. Everywhere I went, I was plagued by racism and meanness, weird. Okay, and look, that's probably a symbol of my own, a projection of my own fear into physical form, whatever that is, but that's my experience, okay? But, and the same thing happened in Germany. It wasn't nearly as bad in Germany as it was in Austria, but anyway, so the point is that it does not have the same feeling here in Croatia as it does in Germany or Austria. If there's racism here, I've not experienced it on any shape, on any level. People here have been really, really, really loving, kind, generous, and going out of their way, with just sweetness, really warm. So all of this is to say I've not felt that same kind of Nazi weirdness. Here, leftover Nazi weirdness, racism, whatever. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that I have not experienced it. And it's really important that, I make sure that I emphasize that so that when you travel to these places, you have your own experience and open yourself up. Look, I believe in myself as a manifester of all experience. I take full responsibility. If a piano dropped on my head from the sky right now, I would be very much about, okay, what is this showing me? Where's my mind? Because I believe that strongly in the power of the mind, and I believe that I am a divine being creating my experience. So, yes, if I experienced racism, I'm taking that on. I'm not taking on the responsibility of the racist, but I'm saying that I called this in for myself for a reason. There are lots of people who have been to Austria and are thriving, black people, I'm sure. So that's my perspective on that. Okay, I totally forgot what I was talking about before. I was talking about men. So this morning, I'm walking up the hill, and there is a okay. This morning, I'm walking up the hill, and there is this feeling. I've seen the dog, and I'm feeling this longing, and I'm feeling this pull toward partnership. And I take a tarot card, and the card says, my card says, the first card I get says, it's the reverse 7 of coins. And the meaning is kind of like disillusionment, like not feeling great, about circumstances.
Time 56 minutes
Ooh,
11
sorry.
seconds. Distance 2 miles. Pace 28 minutes 5 seconds per mile. Split pace 32 minutes 38 seconds per
Hey.
mile.
I'm exercising and making a video. And I need to wrap this up because my phone's going to run out of batteries. So the point is that the first card said that I'm disappointed with where I am or what I'm experiencing, and I feel like it really nailed it because it said you feel like you're working hard and your work is not paying off. And I said, yep, I agree. And I said, what do you want to do about that? And I said, because the point is that I feel like I'm ready for partnership. I feel in love with life, and I'm ready to have my partner that reflects this. And then I pull another card, and of course I get the Lovers, which means, and the message that I got from it was, you have to surrender and just keep allowing. And I feel like this relationship is very, very close. Okay, so I think I better go ahead and sign off. This has been a long and funny video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I don't edit video. I just let it rip. I hope for the best. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off and walk back home. I think I have a client now, so I'm going to get myself back home. And yeah, thanks for watching. I think if I were going to make an announcement, the announcement would be, I'm getting married sometime within the next 5 years, I'm going to be married. All right, that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Bye for now. Actually, maybe I'll let this thing run out. Look at how beautiful it is. Those birds. They sound loving, don't they? Look at them. Can you see them? No, you wouldn't be able to see those. They are so adorable. They're little birds hopping. Look at that tree. God, this is a beautiful place. All right, you're probably tired of that. I'm going to go ahead and let this just run out here. I'm going to stop talking. And actually, I'll go ahead and just turn it off. Okay, bye, y'all.